Hello, everybody. This is Katie Scott, and welcome back to the Power of Choice on YouTube. On this channel, we explore how the choices we make shape every part of our lives, from our relationships to our careers and everything in between. Every decision holds the potential to transform your world, and I'm here to help you make the most of it. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so you never miss an episode. Now let's talk about some things today. I was thinking about how so much is in the news, right? And all over the world, not just in America and the UK, but just lots going on. But there's one thing that stands out because it's been ongoing now for close to like 9 years almost, and that's the relationship between the royal family, the British tabloid media, the partners to the royal families. They're like PR arm or whatever, silent contract. By their own admission, it's not me saying it. They've said it themselves. And the things that they do and say to try to hurt other members of their family who left 5 years ago and moved to the United States and are living in sunny California in beautiful Montecito. So they're doing very well. I mean, everything they're doing is they put their hands to it. You know how the Bible says, you're blessed going and blessed coming. Everything you put your hands to, he'll bless it. And that's what he's doing with this family. And some of you are all out there listening, you can attest to that. That when people come against you in your own personal life, how God just worked things out for you and things get turned around. And we go through some things sometimes, and it's hard and it's hurtful and it's painful, but we never stay in that situation. We don't stay in that feeling. We don't stay in the vicinity of what's happening that's bringing us down. We always can make a better decision to shift and do something different to make some positive changes in our lives, right? So I see these are adults. I guess I'm having issues with looking at how the royal family, the monarchy, the royal household, they're all adults. They're the age of adults. But you wouldn't know it from their behavior. They act like bullies on a playground. The moment they see any good press that Harry and Meghan are getting, they send out minions, we believe, because it's their mouthpieces, saying what they say. When you hear things like, William is very upset. He said he would never reconcile with his brother. Well, they're not saying that without it being okay with William to say it. The other thing I'm thinking about is how awful is it for someone like William to run around constantly talking about what type of king he's going to be. Does he not understand that in order for him to be the king, his father has to no longer be in the land of the living? Does he think about that when he's doing these interviews and on front of magazines talking about what kind of king he's going to be, and he's going to be a new millennium type monarch or whatever? Really? Shouldn't you just shut up? Right now, your dad is here. He's the king. You be quiet. Find something to do other than trying to tear down things that other people are doing because you're jealous. How about that? What would that be like? But instead of doing that, all of them, and not just William, it's Charles, it's Kate, it's all of them. They have mouthpieces that speak what they want said, and they talk about Harry and Meghan giving interviews, but they give them every day with their leaks and lies and smears. At least when Meghan and Harry talk, they're telling the truth and they're saying it from their mouth, and they're not hiding behind anything. And plus, they're not throwing mud. They're just speaking their truth about their own lived experience, their lives. That's not what the others are doing. Why in the world would you be so nasty, so mean, that you can't stand to see somebody living outside of the confines of the royal family and doing well? Why in the world does that bother you to that extent, where you'll do anything to try to tear them down? Why would it, in their family? you shouldn't even want to do that to a stranger, much less family. Those are the things I don't understand. And that's why I was thinking so, hard about this, about being kind is a choice. And we're just seeing so much of the other a lot. But we're seeing a lot of people being kind and doing things to help people. We don't ever want to overlook that. And I'll even put some of that together and do a video about that, because lots of wonderful things going on. We don't want to just harp on things that are negative. Because, like, for example, with Love Megan, okay, it's a lifestyle show, but it brought a lot of joy to a lot of people, and they're still talking about it. And all of the different communities that Archwell works with to make things better, showing up and doing good, helping people. They do a lot of good. And all you have to do is go to Archwell website and see all of the things that they do all the time. But what I want to talk about today is just how people can just start being kinder to each other. Like, we're all navigating life in our own ways, right? We're doing what we believe we should, hopefully learning and evolving along the way. But in the midst of our routines, I hope each of us is also finding some joy in our lives, because this life is the one we've got. And we owe it to ourselves to make the most of it, right? And that begins, I think, with gratitude. And if you can begin with gratitude, that means your mind is not on the wrong things. You're actually thinking about what you have in your life that you're grateful for. And that's a beautiful position to be in. I'm grateful for what I have. Is everything the way I want it? No. But am I better off than I was? And am I better off than a lot of people are? And we want the best for everybody, but we have to think about what we do have instead of what we don't have, and be grateful for what we have. So an attitude of gratitude will take you a whole lot farther. It simply means we're appreciating what we have, prioritizing family, showing up for our communities, and treating others the way we want to be treated. To me, I think it's very simple. Yet for some, it feels impossible. And we all know why. When someone walks around believing they're a legend in their own mind, thinking they're better than others, they'll often try to tear down anyone who threatens that illusion just by being authentically themselves. That's the lens they choose to see the world through. It's narrow, it's insecure, and it's distorted. And you can connect the royal family, the British tabloid press, and all of those daytime talk shows, so-called news shows over there. They're really just all tabloid type gossip shows, because the whole subject is Meghan can't do anything right, Meghan this, Meghan that. I mean, do you have anything else to talk about other than Meghan? The truth is, how we choose to see something shapes how we feel about it. And those feelings determine how we act or how we behave. A lot of people are behaving very badly right now, but they can change that in an instant by shifting what they think about and deciding they're going to treat people the way they want to be treated. Stop. Before you do something to hurt somebody, stop and think about how that would feel if it happened to you. This mindset applies to so much of what we're witnessing in the world today. The media's relentless obsession with Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. The man currently on trial in America, once celebrated, now facing consequences for using his power to harm instead of help. And that was a choice, right? And the people he hurt, they'll be living with the aftermath, the trauma, distrust, pain for years to come. I just saw an interview on TV for a group of men from Making the Group. Oh my God. They started doing the interview. At first, they were like glossing over it when they asked, different questions about Diddy. And I never seen anything. And then as they continued to interview them, the truth starts to come out. One young man start talking about what he went through. And then all the guys, I think it was 3 or 4 of them, they were all crying. And at one point they had to stop the interview. We're talking about the aftermath of what has happened to someone who's been hurt by someone else and still having to deal with it. And that person is on somewhere else and they're dealing with all of that trauma. What's tragic is how often those causing the hurt never stop to think about the impact of their actions. And yet kindness costs nothing. Love, empathy, and decency, it really does come easily if you're not consumed by ego or self-interest. William, and here's the thing. When we make up our minds to believe something, that belief becomes our reality, whether it's true or not. And that's the real danger of it. When we decide we want to willfully be ignorant of the truth and stay with a lie because we hate somebody or we're jealous of them or for whatever reason. Now you're living in an alternate reality, and to you, that's how it really is. And it is in your mind, but it's just not the true reality. Here's the thing. When we make up our minds to believe something, I'll say it again, that belief becomes our reality. Whether what we're believing is the truth or something we made up in our minds because we don't like somebody. We don't like something, what happened. We're jealous of how they're living their lives, and why can't my life be like that? It's a danger in seeing the world that way. But here's the thing. The beauty of life is that we can always choose differently. We can change, we can grow, we can heal. We can live better, fuller, and happier lives if we so choose, because we do have the power of choice. And think about it. It's up to you to make changes, because if we keep doing what we've always done, we'll keep getting the results that we've always gotten. Can't keep doing the same thing and think we're going to get different results. It doesn't work that way. If you want something different to happen, do something different. It's time for all of us to kind of take a breath and just do things that give us joy. But stop looking out so much, focusing on other people, and start doing some introspection, looking within ourselves. What is it in me or in my life that I can change to become better? And we can all ask ourselves that question. And this is not a judgment on anybody. And anybody who's looking at it as a judgment, well, that's not what it's meant to be. Because none of us are perfect. None of us. And I'm first one to say, God is still working on me. I am still a work in progress. I'm not trying to put anybody down. But what I know for sure, that we can choose to be kind, because being kind is a choice. We don't want to keep doing what we've always done so we can keep getting what we've always got. It's time to do something different, don't you think? That's all I have for today. I want to thank you guys for watching The Power of Choice. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this with someone who could just use a little inspiration, a little real talk is all it is. Your support means so much. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, every choice you make has the power to change your world. Until next time.